It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Saturday afternoon, second round playoff game. The Incarnate Cardinals hosting Villanova. It's going to be a lot of fun out at Benson Stadium. Let's talk about it with UIW head coach Clint Killough joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Coach, you're coming off a bye, but I'm going to start with the weather. It's going to suck on Saturday. How does that change everything for your preparations and your high-flying offense?
Yeah, I think I've got about a dozen text messages today about the weather. I'm a younger guy, so I don't wake up and watch the weather report on News 4 like my dad used to. But I'm glad those old heads, all my dad's buddies, are texting me, hey, make sure you do some wet ball drills and everything. But we'll be ready if it's raining. If it's not raining, we got a good run game plan. And then Zach's got big hands, so he'll be able to grip the football and throw it around still a little bit.
Clint, I got to tell you, UIW's been a lot of fun to watch this year. You guys just playing some great football. What has really been the secret to your success this year?
I'd probably say our collectiveness, our cohesiveness. When I took this job over in December of 2022, we were pretty depleted. We lost 66 players off of that 22 Final Four team. We lost all 10 full-time coaches. It was kind of rubble. And we built it from the ground up. In year one, obviously, we had trials and tribulations, and we kind of learned on the fly and everything, and experienced some things. Obviously, getting snubbed out of the playoffs last year. And you got a bunch of guys that are in their first year of the program, so you go through some hardships together, and it forces you to express some humility amongst each other, and just come together as a unit. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that we've done is just come together and really flex our cohesiveness.
Flexed the cohesiveness. I like that.
Yeah.
Clint Killough, head coach of UIW, joining us here on the Blitz. And I'm glad you talked about kind of the start over, because I think a lot of people, you guys might be the best kept secret in town when it comes to, entertaining football to go watch. But, it kind of feels like when people just, casually hear about Incarnate Word football, they think about when Cam Ward and Eric Morris were doing things, and then GJ. And, it's just been a continuation. And that's far from the truth. In fact, you staying and not going with GJ to Texas State when he left surprised a lot of people, especially with what was left in the cupboard at the time.
Yeah. And at the end of 2022, which is a special run, that was a special team on and off the field. Had a couple different options. Obviously, that's the same point in time when Eric got the North Texas job. So had a couple of different options. I knew what I was getting into here at UIW, so obviously you kind of sit there and you chew on it like, okay, what would I be able to bring back? What direction would I go in? How would I go about it? A lot of guys that I trust in this business, head coaching opportunities don't come along very often, especially at your alma mater, at a place where the grass is cut and you kind of know where the potholes are, where the snakes might hide a little bit. So I kind of felt like I could hit the ground running, and if anyone was going to be able to rebuild it back to prominence, I was the guy for the job. I told Richard Duran that when he interviewed me. I don't think there's a better guy in the country to coach his football team at that given point in time, with how vulnerable and how empty the cupboard was. So I wanted to fill it back up, fill it the right way, do it my way. I thought that was a unique challenge to kind of bet on myself and put good people in the building. And that's what we've done. We've put tremendous people in the building, not just the players, but our staff, our strength and conditioning staff. David Conley does a tremendous job. Our athletic training staff with Augie Melendez, they do a great job. So our guys love being in this building. We've created something that is sustainable, and I look forward to the future. I look forward to Saturday.
Clint, that raises a great question, because, while UIW may be a secret to some, certainly to good players, it's not a secret. What is it about UIW that attracts some of these good quality football players that you guys, obviously the coaching staffs the last several years have been supreme, but what is it about UIW that's attracting this type of talent?
Style of play, for sure. I mean, first off, the city of San Antonio sells itself. This is a tremendous city. I'm born and raised here. I love this city. I've been around it, my whole life. Which just to make this point, so I make sure I make it. There's no reason not to come out Saturday and watch the Cardinals, because you got a head coach that's born and raised in San Antonio. I was here when the Spurs beat the Knicks in '99 and they still played in the Alamo Dome. I was here when they were hoping and wishing for the Saints to come over after Katrina and all those things. So if you want to get behind something that's authentic and that's San Antonio based, and I know how hungry this city is for college football, this is the place to come see it. But in terms of attracting talent, I think our style of play speaks for itself. I think obviously at the quarterback position, and we've hit in the same areas over and over and over. Quarterback position, at the receiver position, so it's kind of a revolving door. And once somebody lays the foundation in the way that Cam Ward did, it's kind of easy to go on. Then you got Lindsey Scott, and then Zach. It's like, hey, we got a style of play that you're gonna love. You're gonna have a ton of transparency from the coaching staff, which is hard to find nowadays in college football with all the things that are fun and around and everything. And you're gonna grow off the field. I mean, I think that this place, we do a really good job of guys that have been at other schools. Some may call them journeymen or whatever it may be. And in a weird way, this place is kind of therapeutic for those guys. It allows them to come full circle. It allows them to focus on the things that matter. We don't have the facilities that a UTSA, that Texas, or any of these places have. We don't have the facilities. We don't have all the shiny bells and whistles and all those sorts of things. We have everything that you need to be a high-level college athlete. We have elite coaches. We have elite people in the building, and they're going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not.
Coach Clint Killough joining us here on the Blitz. Now, Clint, you say all that. You played there. Do you ever just point to stuff and say, you guys we didn't have this when I was a player here for the Cardinal, because you guys have added quite a bit over there when it might not be what they have at other places, but it's come a long way from your playing days there.
And to be honest with you, Jason, it hasn't. It's a lot of the same stuff, if you want me to be totally honest with you. Not much has changed since I left. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, man. Yeah, I can relate, which is a good point for me too, because I can relate to these guys. I've sat in that locker room. My signature is under the number 11 locker that I signed back in 2015 when I left the place. I sat in the team room. I've been in that weight room.
I'll say this, because it feels like you've cleaned it up, and more importantly, you've added beer sales over the last several years from your playing days over there. So the tailgating Saturday, it's improved quite a bit.
Yeah, no doubt. The tailgate scene is a blast. We draw good crowds to that. We bring them in the stand. So hopefully we can sell this thing out to max capacity. The home side is always rocking. It's the away side. And I don't know how well Villanova is going to travel, but I hope that we get enough people. I've talked to some friends within the city. I talked to Frank Harris yesterday about, trying to rally up as many road runners as he can. Because at the end of the day, like just being around this city for as long as it has, we do a great job of getting behind our teams, regardless of who it is. And you can see that from the love of the San Antonio Spurs and all those types of things. So hopefully we can pack this thing out, man.
Well, I mean, if people want to see a good football game, they'll be there Saturday. We talk about your quarterback, Clint, obviously doing a tremendous job. Villanova's got a pretty good quarterback as well. Yeah, no doubt, 100%. He can hurt you with his arm. He can hurt you with his legs. He played a ton of football. You can kind of tell that he's got command of the offense, and they go as he goes. They also got a freshman running back that's a stud. That's a big physical kid that plays with an edge to him. So I think their backfield is definitely lethal. And it's something that we got to be prepared for. We got a couple of guys on our roster too that had played in the CAA, which is just such a testament to the globalization of college football and what the transfer portal and all NIL and all these things have done. It's just players that have had experience against Villanova. Villanova's never been here. I've never competed against Villanova or anything like that. But there's players in our locker room like, yeah, coach, quarterback's got some legs and he can kill you. So. Being able to reference those guys and talk through those things, but their backfield is tremendous.
Well, and most people think Villanova and they think big time Division I basketball and coming here to the Final Four, yet they've got a good football program. But you're hosting this game. It's second round game coming off of a bye. 10-win season, you go undefeated in Southland Conference play. How beneficial is knucklehead of a question in that sounds? Was it having a bye or to get healthy, or are you worried about maybe a little rust getting out of a routine?
Yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword. I think the maturity of your team, I think that your culture kind of stands out in those situations. How do they handle it? So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but I think our guys handled it really well. Early in the week, actually right after the selection show, we had a staff meeting. We had a scheduled staff meeting to kind of talk through what the outcome was going to be. We got a couple of coaches out on the road to do some junior college recruiting. Obviously, it's been tough in season to do that, so that was something we wanted to steal out of the bye. And then we cut practices in half. We practiced Tuesday through Thursday. Even on Thanksgiving, we focused on the fundamentals. We focused on our identity and executing our identity, because that's going to be a big point in this game is trying to, regardless of the weather or whatever external factors there are, is making this game play to our style and dictating the pace of play, the explosiveness and all those other things. So we really we looked internally. We focused on ourselves for those 3 practices last week. And then off the field, me and the coordinators did a deep dive into both teams so that we could be ready when that final horn rang against them in EKU, and then we went from there. So I thought it was good for us, good opportunity that the guys took advantage of, resting the bodies, resting the minds, kind of resetting the mind, and really, I gave them off Friday, Saturday, so they could get the hell away from me. To be totally honest with you, I'm sure they're tired of me by now.
Clint, you answered my question, I think, in part. When you get to this time of the season, obviously a very important time, and it's win or go home, basically. And so
yeah,
how hard do you work your guys now? Or do things adjust from early in the season until now? Do you adjust your practice schedule and how you do things?
Yeah, no, definitely. The physicality of practice is probably toned down to a good degree, but I also don't think you can completely eliminate it. You got to be smart. You got to know your roster. How old are these guys? We got some graduate guys, especially up front. You kind of dictate how much physicality that you can play with during practice weeks, depending on how the offensive and defensive lines are, because those are the guys that are banging constantly. So we do a good job of evaluating on Sundays. Hey, where's our roster at in terms of health and all those types of things, and then we'll predicate it. So we have taken some of the physicality off. Obviously, we played a 12-game season, which is one more than we played last year. And then we're looking to play 5 more. So, we toned down the physicality for sure. A little bit more teaching. There's some dynamics of our offense. Obviously, our guys have run a million routes, the same route a million times. So there's a little bit of a peel back for sure.
Incarnate Word head football coach Clint Killough joining us here on the Blitz. Former MacArthur quarterback back in the day. Did a number of your games back in your high school days, Clint. So you talk about your quarterbacking as a quarterback. You look at the offense you run, you look at the receivers that you have, and you have some studs. And then Incarnate Word goes viral a couple of weeks ago because of a touchdown celebration, which drew a penalty during the game, which I think was just stupid.
Terrible.
Terrible, right? So that happens as a staff. I know you're mad at the penalty, or are you? What do you say in the moment? And then what did that moment do for UIW?
Yeah, I won't repeat what I said in the moment, to be totally honest with you.
Well, we are on radio, Coach.
And it's live, so I'm gonna keep it tight. But I saw that same referee on when we played Commerce, and I asked him how his social media was going, if he had it at all, because they were crushing him. So I told him I thought it was a pretty poor call. I'll keep it G-rated for what I said. But it's been huge. Anytime we can get good exposure like that, the best thing is that it puts Jalen Waltall on a stage. We want guys to come here and become the best version of themselves and be in the spotlight. This isn't about me. This isn't about our system. This is about the players that make this system come to life. And we've had, we've been very fortunate in having some really good football players continue to come in here and trust our process, trust our plan, trust our culture. And so it's been tremendous. Obviously for the UIW brand, I think that this stretch of 4 to 5 years has just really put Incarnate Word on the map. I mean, I would say that there's people in every state in the country that knows who UIW is because of what UIW football has been able to accomplish, talking all the way from, 2021 with Cameron Ward being on the stage that he's on and knowing that he came here with his only scholarship offer, to going to the Final Four and being a field goal away from beating the Bison and going to the national championship, to, what we've been able to do now. So it's just awesome for the university. It's awesome for the city of San Antonio. And I'm proud to be, a kid from the city that's doing something good to give back. So.
And Clint, what's amazing is the success that Cam Ward is having at Miami. Talking about Heisman Trophy perhaps and high draft pick. You can't mention Cam Ward without mentioning UIW, and that's got to be a great thing for the university and your program.
Yeah, puts a smile on your face for sure. Especially it kind of takes you back to when we first recruited Cam, because Cam was a 2020 kid, so he got here in the fall of 20. when obviously everything was crazy, everything was social distancing, and we had the masks and everything, but we were able to practice to a certain degree. And what a lot of people don't know is when we got Cam, we already had a freshman All-American at quarterback in John Copeland, who was a stud of a player out of Argyle. So when Cam got here, those two guys basically competed through about 15, 16 practices. It was basically like spring in the fall. And they just competed through the fall. And by the end of it, I remember going in there and having a staff meeting, and Eric Morris looking around the table like, hey, everybody pick one. And we're going to go around the table and we're going to see what you guys really think about this thing. Obviously, the rest is history. And then just kind of watching Cam grow from a young, immature, extremely competitive kid that just kind of was out there doing his thing to a really mature, confident, dialed-in quarterback that plays at a really high level. He's a special man. I've been texting back and forth with them. I was lobbying to try to get him to come do the coin toss before the game. I thought that might be pretty cool. So I don't know. It's getting to Thursday and I haven't got confirmation yet. So I don't know if I'll be able to swing it, but I'm trying.
It's funny because I was texting with his dad. I think Mama and Papa Ward might be at the game on Saturday. I don't know if Cam will be there. So, and the fact that they stay so invested in the program, I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a testament to just genuine people here, genuine relationships. Again, that's what we lean on in recruiting. In a climate where there's so many different things that kids are worried about and focus on, we just put good people and genuine people that are transparent and honest, and we build really strong relationships that last regardless of what logo you're wearing. It's also a testament to Richard Durant. I think Rich has done a tremendous job. I know him and Calvin Ward are really tight. We take care of guys, even guys that go on to bigger and shinier places and all those things. I won't say better because I think this is the best kept secret in the country, but it's pretty special.
Clint, I got to ask you, as you go into this game, are you a superstitious guy? Is there any something do you wear the same socks or shoes or something like that as you go into this game?
I've got the same wardrobe every game this year. I don't change it up, so that would probably be my superstitious thing. But I do not have the same pair of socks. I definitely do laundry. I definitely do laundry every week, and I do not have the same pair of socks.
Now you think about your wardrobe. Again, we started talking about the forecast. I mean, are you going to go with the same thing, or is there a jacket, a hoodie, the winter gear, the wet gear, whatever it might be? Or are you going to freeze your ass off out there?
Yeah, I'll freeze my ass off. We'll be all right. When I get going, we'll be all right. I'll drink a few Red Bulls. We'll get it revved up.
All right. So you're favored by 7. At what point do you get enough of a lead where you feel like you could put on a jacket or a hoodie?
It's got to read 0-0, brother. I'm not changing it up. We're gonna keep it the same the whole game. Yep.
You're a better man than most, man.
Absolutely.
Better man. Kickoff at 1:00 against Villanova. Tailgating, I think the Forever First Foundation gets going, at 10:30?
Yep. Yeah, probably earlier. They might be going out there about 8 a.m. while we're going through walkthroughs. They might be out there drinking cold beer. So
they might, and then you'll go celebrate. Now, can we look ahead, Coach? After you guys beat Villanova, who's next?
Hopefully, we get a return trip to Brookings, South Dakota. That's what that would be awesome. But again, we've done a great job of being where our feet are. Not looking too far ahead. We don't allow our guys to do that. We don't allow the staff to do that. I don't allow myself to do that. And I think we had a little bit of that last year. That's one of the lessons that we learned from last year of, where are we in the rankings and what's to come, what's next and all these other things. And, screw that, man. Let's be where our feet are. Let's be the best version of ourselves. And let's execute. We talk a ton, our culture is built off winning with intention. And our intention and our focus has been locked in every day this year. And we're not going to change up what we've done to get ourselves here. And we're going to keep it moving that way.
Go get them, Coach.
Go get them. First time I've ever heard somebody wanting to go to North Dakota in December, but I get it. I get it. But take care of Saturday. Take care of Villanova. 1:00, Coach. Congrats on an incredible season. Proud of you, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. God bless y'all.
Appreciate it. Clint Killough, head coach of the UIW Cardinals. Again, Saturday, 1:00 out at Benson Stadium.